Yo, what's up? This is Trouble Andrew, and I'm here with Jungle Gym magazine. I was born in Nova Scotia, Canada, and just growing up, I was just always into skateboarding and art, like drawing and stuff. I never really got into like team sports or anything. And so I just always, you know, like skateboarding, like skateboarders were my heroes, and as soon as I discovered snowboarding, it was like immediate, you know, I just fell in love with it, and just being in Canada, living in Canada, it just happened that I turned pro at snowboarding, and it was just, you know, the mountains and the cold, and so yeah, I've been living my dream, you know, I always wanted to do that, skateboard and snowboard and travel and just stay creative, and that's what I'm doing still, so I'm living the dream. When I got injured snowboarding, I mean, I've been injured so many times, but when I got my first real injury that put me out for 9 months, that was in 2004. I tore my ACL in my knee and had surgery. When I got it, I was just like, all right, cool, 9 months, let's do this. And that's when I discovered music. You know, I was just chilling in Philly, and Santi had all kinds of music equipment around the house, and I just started like writing songs just to kill time. Music's always been a passion for me. Like with snowboarding even and skateboarding, it's like I'd always be wearing headphones, always listen to music. I would hear songs and it would make me feel that I could do things like that I could just be invincible almost. Like a certain song could make me feel like that on my snowboard, so I was always inspired. What got me into producing and writing in general was really just around 2005 when I started writing my song. Like the first song I ever wrote was Chase Money. Just prior to that, Santi, she was still in a band called Stiff. She hadn't started the Santigold project yet. So I was at that time like strumming along on the guitar, like making these little beats or whatever, and she would come in the room and sing, and she ended up using like 6 of those riffs that I wrote on her Stiff Burned Again EP. And so that like opened my eyes to like, wow, I could be like a producer or a songwriter or something, you know. For sure, Santi was a huge inspiration. You know, when I wrote those songs, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just writing songs, and I never had a plan to release them or anything. And she was the one who was like, yo, these are good songs. We need to go get with a producer and actually make this an album. And at that point, you know, she definitely motivated me to get off my ass and take it serious and not just be like, yo, it's a picture that I painted and put it away in the closet, you know. So the Trouble Gang mixtape really just happened over, you know, because I wrote my first record, the Trouble Andrew record, in 2005. It came out, I put it up on myself. And then 2009, Virgin picked it up, re-released it. And then in between all that time, I'd been writing songs for my new album. So I probably had like 60 songs, and it was like I narrowed my album down to 8 songs or whatever, and then I just had so many songs, and I was traveling around from studio to studio, from New York to LA, all over the place, and so I was just running into all kinds of people, other artists, and it was the first time for me to collaborate with people, because music up until that point was like real selfish for me and private, and I would do it by myself and nobody would hear it until it was done. And so it was cool to like share a studio or a room with somebody and just vibe out and just come up with something on the fly, and that was kind of meeting in the middle from my vibe to like their vibe, you know? What was going on in my head when I was doing Dreams of Trouble? Man, oh man, it's just like, that was just, that it was really more about, the title is more about the process of the record and like coming into it. And like I said, when I first started this, even up to the point when I had my first record done, I was like, okay, I'm putting it out. I was like, I'm never doing a live show. I'm just gonna give this to my homies that are pro skaters or whatever, snowboarders, that want to use it for their video parts, and that'll be it, you know. And once the ball started rolling, my eyes were opening to the industry and all around making a record and trying to express yourself, you know, and so it was kind of like, it was a dream in a great way, you know, but it was also a fucking nightmare, and it was like, so it was all that. I would say my favorite track on my new album is called Want It All. It's just like the realest song I've ever wrote. Yeah, I mean, I would say just be a dreamer, you know what I mean? Like don't let people limit you and make you feel like you can't take your life where you want to take it, pretty much. I feel like I've been really lucky that I get to see things in that way. I feel like my parents encouraged me to always keep an open mind and be original and just follow my heart. As corny as it sounds, it's true, man. I really have followed my heart, and I feel like if you truly love something and you really go for it, you get it.